Good morning. It is day 7 of the Suffering 2.0. It is high carb day. So I got myself some cranberry juice and I got my rice already cooked, my first meal of the day. I'm honestly not sure how many carbs are in each meal right now, but I'm doing 4 of these today and 8 ounces of rice measured dry plus that whole jug of juice is going to come out to 800 carbohydrates, leaving me 200 additional after these 4 meals to have a little bit of fun with some candy or just other stuff to eat. My cheat meal plus candy, because I enjoy a little bit of candy whenever I've been deprived of carbohydrates all day. I do start craving sweets, so I'm gonna do a little bit of candy and then I'm gonna have my cheat meal, and that should put me right at 1,000. I wish I would have recorded this, but these are all my meals. So I got, each one of these represents a day. It's 1.5 pounds of chicken, nice and grilled. So I just gotta let those cool down so I can get those into their proper meals. And of course, my 8 ounces of rice in my pot, and I'm going to eat it straight out of there because when I'm done, I'm just gonna wash it and get it ready for the next one anyways. I don't use a rice cooker. I mean, I suppose I could. That's not really an issue to use one or not to use one. It's just, I'm not gonna cook that amount of volume that I need that big of a rice cooker, because it's like, oh, why don't you just cook it and have it fresh in your rice cooker? It's like, well, I could do that. And I have done that many times before. But this way I know each meal is consistently measured out to being consistently sized. So that way I can time my hunger according, whether I push it a little bit longer between meals or a little bit sooner between meals. Plus, I don't mind cooking. It takes 15 minutes. It's not a big deal. I'm going to eat and then go on my walk. High carb days are definitely my most enjoyable day because it's the day I don't have to be hungry and I get to eat more along the lines of fun food, which it's stupid because I eat jasmine rice and drink juice all day. So it's not really like crazy fun food, but I enjoy rice. It's not like I'm going off the rails eating a bunch of other things. It just feels like I'm eating something different because, well, it is something different, but I eat a lot of carbs during the day, during the week. 456 a day. That's not a little bit of carbs, but 1,000 carbs versus 456. It's a significant difference, especially when you're not eating a bunch of meat with it. Okay, so I am very flat today. My body looks very deflated. The thing I don't like about high carb day is all my muscles are very skinny, scrawny, and stringy, and I just look like withered away. And then by the end of the day, my stomach is going to be very big and distended, like I'm pregnant. And then my arms and everything, chest, shoulders are just going to look pathetically small, and my stomach's going to be the biggest thing on me. But after that absorbs throughout the night, tomorrow and Tuesday, I'm going to have really amazing pumps, and I'll be about 10 pounds heavier than I was, on today, which will make me look like I have a ton more muscle mass, and my stomach's going to flatten out. So it just has a reversed effect of what it looks like at the end of the day tomorrow. And then I want to speak a little bit about body fat. So my brother went and got a DEXA scan, and his body fat percent came back at 22%. And they said that he has 17 pounds to lose to get to 15% body fat, and that's what he wants to be. So he's just like, this is wonderful because now I have a real goal and a real number to lose. So if I lose 1 pound per week, that gives me 17 weeks to hit my goal. Or if I go 1.5 or 2 pounds. So he has it all mathematically figured out. And that's great. Some people need that. But for me, the thought of knowing my body fat percentage and how much I need to lose is only beneficial if I'm going to compete, because then I know how much weight I have to drop every week. If I'm just trying to lose weight to get my abs, then it's irrelevant what my body fat percentage, because the goal is the image, right? I just want to look a certain way. So it's just like, all right, let me just keep losing weight until I get down to the point where my abs are visibly showing through all the time. Now, competing is a different story, because competing goes, all right, I have to be 7%, 6%, 8%, 5% body fat, whatever it is that you need to be. You get a DEXA scan, you see what your body fat percentage is, then it tells you how much fat and pounds you have to go. So now you know how much you have to lose per week. So you know how to program your diet and your weight loss according to what you need to lose to be able to hit that number perfectly on that week of competition. So if it's 12 pounds, 12 weeks, a pound per week. If it's 18 pounds, you need to lose 1.5 pounds. You could do the math on it, and then you can make sure that your weight loss is going accordingly. But here's the kicker. If that's all you look at, and then you're preserving muscle mass too, and you're not dropping as much, the scale may not even move as much as you think it needs to move. And then you might get in your head like, oh my God, I still got 6 pounds to go and I'm only 4 weeks out. Then you overdo your cardio and you undereat, and you lose a bunch of muscle tissue, and then you flatten out and deflate and you look like crap on stage because you over cardioed yourself. So knowing your body fat percentage and knowing how much you need to lose to get on stage is important. But the thing is, like, your body's always changing with water fluctuation, plus water retention from sodium and carbs, and then your body fat to muscle mass ratio. So it could be actually more harmful than helpful versus just going off the way you look in the mirror and using that as a gauge to see if you're going in the right direction or not. So it has its benefits. Some people need it, some people it hurts. Just like some people have to weigh everything every day and it helps them, and other people it cripples them like horribly and they get too obsessed with it. So there's individuals that require different forms of measurement of progress. But all right, my arm's getting tired. I'm gonna go ahead and call it for this talk and walk. I'll see you guys in the next clip. So this meal, I'm deciding not to do rice. I'm doing grits, which this is 120 grams of grits. And then I'm gonna do these pretzels because for 11 pretzels, it's 24 carbohydrates. I did the math. So apparently 8 ounces of rice is 140 carbohydrates. So with the pretzels and this right here, this is gonna be 150, roughly 150, because it's 21 grams for every 1 pack of grits. I did 6 grits. So that's basically 126 grams plus the 24 from the pretzels, which would put us up to pretty much 150 carbohydrates, which is 10 over what the rice would have been. And then I also have my juice. I'm only get 4 drinks a day out of the juice. So I have to kind of like sparingly use it per meal, because this is just faster than waiting for rice, and we have some things we have to go do. So instead of spending 5 minutes waiting for it to boil, 15 minutes to cook, then probably another 10 minutes to cool down and so I can eat it, I'm just going to do this. So I'm making an audible, which is what you could do on carb day, because the whole thing for me is just getting carbohydrates that are free of all protein and fats. Not so much protein, but fats. You try to get as low as fat as possible. Protein's not really necessarily an issue if there's indirect protein in the food, the carbohydrates, but mainly the thing is you just don't want to feel full. You want to be able to get all your food in without having to feel like, oh crap, I got to eat again. I know some people still add a bunch of protein in on their high carb days, but me personally, I don't feel I need any direct protein on my high carb day, because carbohydrates are protein sparing. So my body is going to assume the carbohydrates before it consumes any muscle tissue. And today's not about building muscle. It's just about filling the muscles back up with glucose to be able to work out super hard during the rest of the week. So there's logic to what I'm doing, and what I'm doing is working. So I'm going to go ahead and eat this meal, and I'll see you guys in the next clip. Today has gone by really fast. I'm already on my second walk of the day. I'm at 660 carbohydrates as of right now, so I have one more meal to do, which will put me up to 800, and then I'll get my cheat meal, and my cheat meal will put me up close to 1,000. And it's just like, man, you're gonna do 200 carbohydrates in your cheat meal? Yeah, I'll have a soda, which is 75 carbohydrates, and then I'll have my actual meal, whatever that might be, and I'm gonna look at the amount of carbohydrates in that meal, and then if I don't hit what I need from that meal, I'm going to have ice cream after that, which will bring my total carbohydrates up to 1,000, and that's where I'm going to cap out. Normally, I eat 1,000 carbohydrates from just my food sources during the day, and then I have a cheat meal on top of the 1,000 carbohydrates. So my carbohydrates can go all the way up to 1,200 at sometimes, you know, on some Sundays. But I'm going to try to restrict that down to 1,000 even for the whole entire day, not just for my food consumption and then my cheat meal on top of that. So it'll be basically 800 carbohydrates throughout the day, and then with a 200 carbohydrate limit for my cheat meal. I know it seems like a lot, but really honestly it's not. One little thing of ice cream, one little, about your average size little personal tub of ice cream, that's 100 carbohydrates. So if you have fast food, depending on what you get with a soda, you're probably looking close to maybe 125 carbohydrates just from a meal. And then you have a dessert, there's 200 carbohydrates. So it comes pretty quick. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish my walk And I think that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Next weekend, like I said, I'm probably going to start training my abs on Sundays to have some more gym footage and to make some of my other workouts a little bit shorter. And then I'm probably going to start putting my calves on Sunday to shorten up my shoulder day, so I can focus more on my shoulders and not have to worry about transitioning over to my calves. And then also I can just put more effort into each one if I'm training them only on that day and not doing 2 separate muscle groups on upper body, lower body. It is the whole concept and thought process. But all right, like I said, ending the video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.